love to movers and shakers, hard workers and those bread makers. Respect to hustling bouquet, reaching back and not forgetting. You stand strong, odds stacked against you. Before long, your change will come to. Your purpose greater than also. Stay focused, obstacles fall. Hey, I see you. When I think of strength, you come to mind. There's no greater power I could find. Hey, I see you. When I think of strength, you come to mind. There's no greater power I could find.
Hey, welcome to the Striving for More podcast, where knowledge and influence is core with the one and only Kamo. How y'all doing today? So we're gonna just jump on into this topic today. And the reason why I want to jump into this topic and today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter than usual because it is a two-part episode. Today's episode 3 is situationships versus relationships. And today's episode is going to be a bit more informative. Some people that I reach out to, we're kind of like, okay, situationships, relationships, like, what's the difference? Which one's better? Which one's worse? Someone's just like, what is a situationship? I think most people knew what relationships are, but still, even though they knew what relationships were, the defining the relationship for them was like kind of like case by case basis and individualized, right? Because a relationship that you're in kind of got to suit you, and it's like what you and that other person decide what your relationship is, right? So today's episode is, like I said, going to be informative. It's going to dig a little bit deeper into defining what a situationship is, defining what a relationship is, and what's the difference. What's the difference between a situationship and friends with benefits? Are they the same? I don't know. We're going to find out. Is a situationship better than a relationship? Is a relationship better than a situationship? We're going to find that out as well. And then in 2025, in this day and age, are situationships becoming a little bit more prevalent? Are they becoming more preferred? Who knows? We'll only know with the research that we have here in front of us today. And the reason why I decided to do a two-parter is because the part 2 will be a little bit more engaging and interactive. We will have several different personalities, perspectives, experiences, men and women, single men and women, and hopefully some men and women that are in relationships that can, shed a little light on what their experiences are, what their perspectives and opinions are. I would like to juggle it up a little bit so that we could hear a little bit of every opinion, not just bias. Oh, I'm just for situationships, and oh, no, relationships are better. We're not going to have none of that. We're going to have all kinds of juicy, spicy information and conversation for you. Okay? So let's dig into this. What is a situationship? Do y'all know? Let's find out. I did some research for you guys. And today's research isn't just, just basic research. Some of this information includes different perspectives and experiences. We'll see, what we have here. So the basic definition for a situationship is a romantic or sexual relationship that is not considered to be formal or established, right? A romantic relationship between two people who do not yet consider themselves a couple, but who have more than a friendship. So it's kind of like that gray area, right? Where it's like, okay, so I don't think we just friends, but we ain't together neither. How y'all feel about that? Is that something that you guys don't mind, something that you prefer, or something that you're just like, huh, what? You want to be dealing with me, talking to me, and sleeping with me, but we don't have no title, and you don't want to be with me? Like what? Which what? Which one are you? I want to know. Let me know in the comments, okay? And this is how I'm going to know who I'm talking to. I want you guys to come on. It's going to be a video, several video Zoom session with a lot of us, okay? Yes, it's going to be a lot of us on a live Zoom session, and we are going to be having this conversation, okay? It is going to be a safe place, judgment-free zone, and we are going to have fun with this conversation, okay? So, we're back to the gray area. Like I said, we're sleeping together, which makes us more than friends, but we don't have a title and we're not together. Let's see what we have here. Let's share some people's experiences that have been in situationships. So we have an experience right here that says basically the situationship for them is feeling like extremely out of the loop. Friends keep using the term, but can't seem to make heads or tails of what a situationship is. So Zane the Pain says, it's the sweetest, warmest, most inviting trap you'll ever be caught in. That's funny. So, the sweetest, warmest, most inviting trap you'll ever get caught up in. It'll be the best thing ever until it's not. That doesn't sound real good, does it? Then it's too late because you're already caught up. That sounds like an emotional debacle right there. So let's see what's next. Simple. They never have the intention on committing long term. You are the situation that they're in. Ouch. So does that sound positive to you? Avoid them if you want commitment. So basically, you are a situation that they're in. It's just something that they're doing. This is the situation. That's it. No more than that. It's just the something that they are doing. How does, I mean, that's how people are defining their experience. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's what all people feel. Some people might feel like that's the situation for them. You never know. We're not going to judge. We're just going to, move on and see how other people are experiencing this. As I understand it, it's basically a casual dating type deal where one or both people are just kind of killing time till they find something better. Sometimes one of them isn't aware that this is the case. Uh-oh. Okay. So this is basically saying that this situationship is basically both people that are killing time until they find something better. Dang. And sometimes one of the two people don't even know that that's the case. So there could be one person that's investing their time and energy into the situation, hoping that it's more, but the other person is just really just killing their time, just having fun until they find who they really want. You guys, how do y'all feel about that? Is that, I mean, is that something that you do? I would think, okay, so I myself, since I like to play devil's advocate, I can see the pro and con in that situation. Now, the pro to that situation is the person that is having fun with it and killing time, as it said, while they're, trying to find the person that's better or what they really want. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, they're just having fun with it. That's the pro. The con to it is the person that is investing the time and energy in the situation and wants more and is hoping that the other person, being as though they're spending all this time together, wants the same. But they going to find out sooner or later that they don't. So that's how you can fall into a situation where you have absolutely wasted your time and and your energy that you have put into this person, and they just want somebody else. That's the pro and the con to this particular situation. How do you guys feel about that? Comment in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe and let me know how you feel about this situation. Have you been through this? Can you relate to this? Or do you avoid situationships because you're avoiding a situation like this? Do you necessarily want to put in your time and your energy and your days, months, and years into somebody that doesn't necessarily want to commit to you? Doesn't necessarily know if you are the person that they actually want to be with. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Now, let's see. A situationship is basically just what the title says. Feels like I'm um in a gray area. They use the term gray area. Hmm. It's difficult to define as it can happen in various forms, but I describe it as when you're in a relationship in all ways but name. And I think what they mean that by that is to say that you're not technically in a relationship like a title, like we are together, we are boyfriend, girlfriend, but you guys do typical things that mimic relationship stuff, like go out on dates, maybe hang out at home, watch movies, snuggle, cuddle, maybe do little things for one another, but not technically in a relationship, right? You're talking all the time, you're going on dates, you can even introduce friends and family to each other, acting like partners, but ultimately the person that you're dating isn't with you officially with a title. It's like a relationship with an automatic get out of jail free clause. One of you can use whenever it suits. So basically, you're doing all of these things. There was one thing that stood out in this passage was that you guys introduce each other to family and friends. My thing is just my opinion, and for me, I wouldn't necessarily technically want to introduce anybody to my family that I wasn't serious about or dating or with. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, why? Like, what? How do you guys feel about that? Would you guys introduce a person that you guys were just in a fling kind of thing situation with? It wasn't a commitment, wasn't really a thing serious. They're not your boyfriend or girlfriend to your family? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Like, have you guys done that? Can you relate to that? Are you okay with that? Do you think that that's fine, or do you feel like me? Like, why? Like, why would I do that? I don't feel like anybody that I'm not interested in or like serious in or think that maybe I could possibly have a future with, like, why do you need to meet my family? I don't know. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to this conversation in episode 4 so that we can have this conversation with several perspectives and several voices. And I'm definitely ask that question. Would you introduce somebody that you were just in a situationship with to your family? Right? I feel like family is for a person that you are serious with, somebody that you're close with, someone that you're trying to build something with, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Another experience, it says, a waste of your time. If they don't want labels, then they don't want you. How you guys feel about that? That is pretty simple, cut and dry, very direct, straight to the point, straight to the point. If they don't want labels, they don't want you. How do you guys feel about that? For me, again, playing devil's advocate, I guess in the beginning when you're dating or whatever the case may be, I don't think anyone just jumps, okay, I want to be in a relationship, right? I think that it's like an overtime kind of thing. It depends on the people, how long it, how, what works for you guys. But I always think that there is a moment that you guys should give each other clarity. You should sit down and have that important conversation. And that conversation usually goes a little something like, hey, so what's going on? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then usually they'd be like, huh? What you mean? What is this? What are we doing? What is this? That's usually how the conversation starts, right? And I think that everybody should be transparent and honest and basically put all your cards on the table and say what you want, right? Say what you want, say what you don't want, say all of that, right? Only in the perfect world, because in some situations, let me know in the comments, have you been in a situation where a person says one thing and does another? You can fall into situations where a person will tell you everything that they want you think you want to hear in order just to keep you there. And their intent is not exactly what it is that they're telling you, right? So situationships are really, really gray areas, as we can see, correct? So let's see what else we have here. All right. It says, I'm in a situationship. We see each other 1 to 3 times a week, text many times a day, help each other with stuff, go on dates, go out to eat, have sex a lot, and we are not boyfriend and girlfriend. This sounds like this person is quite fine with the situation that they're in, right? They seem like they are satisfied with seeing their person 1 3 times a week, doing things together, helping each other with stuff, going out to eat, having lots of sex, and they seem to be quite content with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that it's not really like a wrong or a right thing, right? It's like situation based, individual, what works for the person. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys agree that this topic right here depends, just depends on the people, right? So is a situationship the same as friends with benefits? In my opinion, I shall say, and you guys can get in the comments and tell me if you agree or disagree. But for me, I feel like a situationship is a little bit of a step above friends with benefits. I feel like friends with benefits is a little cut and dry. I feel like you hook up, you give a call and be like, hey, what you doing? Are you available? Can I come through, pull up? That type time. And after you guys do whatever it is that you guys are doing, it's like, okay, that was great. Thank you for your services. I will holler at you. Call me. I feel like that's friends with benefits. A situationship is a lot like what they describe of going out on dates, chilling, hanging out, doing things for one another, little snuggle buggle time and everything. Like I said, I think it's a mimicking doing a little bit of relationship things without being in a relationship, which is why I say that friends with benefits and situationships are different. A situationship is a little step above friends with benefits, okay? And I think, as we all know, being in a relationship is definitely a step above being in a situationship, because a situationship um, doesn't have a label. It doesn't have a title. In a situationship, you're not technically together. In a relationship, it has a label to what are you to me? What am I to you? We are something to each other. I am your girlfriend. You are my boyfriend. You are my fiance. You are my whatever. Okay. Is there is a title? It's a commitment. Okay. Can there be a commitment in a submit situationship? I think that's what you call being exclusive. We are exclusively dating means that the two people sat down and they discussed that we are only going to see each other. We're only going to date each other. We're only going to sleep with each other. This is us. This is what we're doing. This is exclusive. Is exclusive a commitment? I think a little bit. What do you guys think? I think being exclusive to someone is a bit of a commitment. You know what I'm saying? Commitment with to say that I am only dating you. I am only seeing you. I am only sleeping with you. Tell me what you guys think about that in the comments. Okay. And okay, so like I was saying, that a relationship is basically what am I to you? We are something, but you can't really solely classify a relationship because, again, like a situationship, a relationship is individualized as well because lots of different people have their own perceptions of what they feel a relationship is and what a relationship means to them. And there's all sorts of different relationships nowadays. There's monogamous relationships, there's poly relationships, there's open relationships, there's all kinds of things happening now in this 2025. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we doing? Right? So I wanted to get you guys all caught up and informed on basically what's the difference between a situationship and a relationship, situationship versus relationship. And the fact that a situationship is just a little tiny step above friends with benefits. What floats your boat? What works for you? I know that in episode 4, it will be a lot more engaging and interactive because we'll have different perspectives and different personalities, right? And we'll have more than me speaking on the subject. And you will get to ask me anything you would like. And I will answer. Okay, it's going to be fun. The conversation is going to get spicy. Okay, it's going to be spicy. We're going to have very large personalities chiming in on this topic. Okay, and we're going to have fun with it. Okay, now for me, I'll spill a little bit of tea. Keisha, how do you feel? Like I said, it depends. I could feel different ways about different people. It could be one person that I meet and I could be absolutely fine with a situationship. Like I could care either way how it goes or how it ends or what. And I've been in situations like those. And then it could be I can meet another person and like I'm vibing with them and their energy just makes me want to become closer with them, see what it's about, see what it's hitting for, see if it could go somewhere. And I'm feeling them, right? And that could be the situationship. And then I could meet someone and I could just absolutely be like, yeah, that's it. There they go. That's that's him. I'm in there. I'm in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Different people make you feel different ways. Different people make you think and feel different ways, right? So it's just not that black or white. It just depends on who it is. It depends on what you want. It depends on how it's going, right? That's how I feel. And I just listening into this different research of these different people that like the one person said that it's a trap, the other person sound like it was absolutely a great thing that they were doing and they were getting what they want out of it, right? So you can listen to one person's situation and then you can listen to another person's situation and one can turn you completely off to it and then the next person will have you thinking, oh, okay, well maybe I should go on ahead and try that, right? But and then they're saying a lot of negative things about situationships. However, don't you think that there's pros and cons to relationships as well? Because like I was saying, a lot of people depends on how their perception and how they think about what a relationship looks like for them. And I know in my experience, I've been in some relationships where I thought that I was in a relationship but the other person I was in a relationship, I don't think they knew exactly how to be in a relationship or what that relationship was supposed to be like. Okay. Because I think that you're supposed to stop sleeping with other people, maybe when you're in a relationship, when you're committed to somebody. And some of them didn't get the memo. Okay. So, like I said, relationships are defined differently between person to people to people. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I have a pretty large personality and I can go either way. Like I said, it depends. I'm casual, I'm laid back. I'm like, okay, whatever. However, I'm a little bit different if I'm feeling you. If I'm feeling you and, the feelings start to surface and start bubble up and I got a thing for you, then I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit different. It's like I am not going to sit around too long and listen to you tell me we not together. That's just not going to work for me. That's just not going to work for me. I have a shelf life on that. It's like, not with everybody, but for me, it's like, coming to an understanding and clarity and seeing, telling me what this is and this being what it is has to go down at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I do find myself falling into a situationship, I would think that, for me, it couldn't be too long. I don't know. It depends on the person. Like I said, is cool with some people and different with others. You never know. But I'm going to dig more deeper into that in part two, episode 4. So I'm not going to give away too much. But I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward. I'm a sucker for love. Okay, I'm a sucker for love, but I also do single very very well. So you never know. It just all depends. So you guys can ask me because I know that my followers super nosy, want to know what my status are. Keisha, are you single? Are you dating? Are you seeing any person? Are you seeing somebody serious? Like what's going on? So you guys will get an opportunity to ask me that, and I'll answer you. I'll answer you very transparent, very I'll be open on episode 4 because there's going to be a lot of like I said, personalities and voices, and I will be one of them. And you can ask me, and I'll be super transparent, and I'll dig a little bit deeper, share some experiences with you, just like everyone else is going to. Okay, so now this episode here has told you guys what friends with benefits is basically a sexual situation, a sexual hookup situation, which is not a bad thing if it works for you, right? Like, people have needs and it's fine. If you, as long as you are protecting yourself and being safe, hit them up. Say, what you doing? Pull up. Friends with benefits. It is what it is, right? And then a situationship is kind of sort of the same thing, but you guys just do fun shit together. Situationship. Okay. And then you cuddle, in a situationship, right? Spend a little bit more time with each other. And as somebody said, introducing to family and friends and all of that and everything. I'm not kind of with that, but okay, I can see how that could work for some people or whatever. But I'm not introducing everybody that I sleep with to my family. I'm just not gonna do it. So I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments like how y'all feel about that. Would y'all do that? Would y'all just I don't know. Family is important. Family is special. Family is private, right? Well, to me, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but judgment free zone. Judgment free zone. And relationships is basically what am I to you? What are you to me? We are committed. We are in this. We are together. We are building. We are doing life, right? We're going to start the life together. And relationships, don't all always have to lead to marriage, but that's a whole different topic, right? We're just doing situationships versus relationships, right? We're not even digging into marriage yet. We just gonna stay over here. Okay, we gonna stay over here. And then my goal is to have different perspectives, male, female, single and in relationships, single or in situationships, and get it popping. We're gonna talk about this, okay? We're gonna talk about this, and hopefully we're gonna just deck and we're gonna see like I don't think that there is a winner. I don't think that there is a right or wrong. But who is just me. You never know. I might be in this conversation and they might all just be like, shut up, Keisha. I'll be like, oops. They might have some, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, I might be wrong. I'm not always right. I feel like I usually am, but not everybody has to agree with me, right? So, this episode here was to inform you and get you all excited about the interactive and engaging episode 4 that would be on the same topic, situations versus relationships, but it's going to be a little bit more interactive. Like I said, it's going to be like a Zoom video call with several people that are going to come on, and we're going to have this conversation. It is going to go great. That's what I'm saying now. Whatever. Respectful, judgment free, safe zone. Okay. So I am looking forward to your comments and your opinions and how you feel on situationships versus relationships versus uh friends with benefits. Okay, let me know like how you feel about it. Reach out to me in my DM, reach out to me in the comment section so that we can have this conversation, so that we can all schedule and synchronize our schedules and get together and have this conversation. So it's going to be great. So I'm going to end this episode 3 on that note. Okay. We have delved into a lot of great information and listened to some experiences of some people that are in situationships. And we did not dig into people that are in relationships, because I just feel like we just know a lot of people that are in relationships, right? And there's pros and cons, I feel like, to each situation. So we're going to have a deeper conversation about that next week. I want you guys to get excited about this. I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe on this episode, okay? So that you guys can get notified of when the Zoom conference starts next week with all of us together to talk about this topic. Okay. And until then, I want you guys to stay blessed and safe. And thank you so much for taking this time out to support my podcast. Okay. This is episode 3. I am a very, very new podcaster. And hopefully, I feel like you guys will just think that I'm getting better as I go. I'm trying to perfect things, and I'm very open to constructive criticism, and like I have gotten some very helpful tips and from all of my viewers and everything, and I take heed to it, and I try to implement those changes every time I record. So even on the topic, always reach out to me and tell me what you feel as though I did better or what you think I can do more of, and I will appreciate and accept that. Okay. So, thank you for tuning in to episode 3, Situationships versus Relationships. That's Driving for More podcast with me, Kamo. I would like to take a time to shout out Diane Starr for my intro selection, musical selection. She is awesome for the song entitled I See You, right? And then absolutely having to give a shout out to my sponsor, Boss Strip, owned by none other than Statewide Chip, because he be having me looking good. He keep me looking good, okay? And everybody knows that I like to look good in these custom made t-shirts, okay? So shout out to Boss Strip. Thank you so much. And I want you guys to stay blessed and stay good and tune in next week to episode 4, part 2, relationships versus situationships. Take care.